Brad Chandler Coaching presents the Real Estate Investing Hot Seat Podcast. Stop working for someone else and get the support you need to make it as an investor. Having been part of over 2,000 deals, Brad Chandler will train you to buy and sell houses without making expensive mistakes. Learn about the good, the bad, and the ugly of investing from experience earned in the trenches as Brad coaches real investors how to find real success.
In this episode, you'll learn what could void a deal in a contract and cost you tens of thousands of dollars. How Adam went from full-time job to full-time real estate investor. The critical steps to grow a real estate wholesaling business, and the single most important factor to success. Take action now by texting the word INVEST, I-N-V-E-S-T, to 855-999-1616 to get your free guide teaching you how to qualify, schedule, and close more deals faster with the advanced agreement, the technique we use to do 20 wholesale deals per month. Welcome, everyone, to the Real Estate Investing Hot Seat Podcast. I want to introduce my guest, Adam Furman, to the first ever live stream. Adam, how are you today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Brad. How are you?
I can't be better, man. Although I could be better if it were like 90 degrees. This weather is killing me.
Yeah, I pulled out the short sleeve shirt today, though.
Yeah, it was a little nicer today. So give me and the listeners a background. Like, who is Adam all about?
All right. Well, first, let me just say thank you very much, Brad, for this opportunity to be able to come on here with one of the greats in the country is a huge honor. And to everybody listening, thank you for your time. So my background in '07, I was a realtor, and it was my first year being a realtor. I grew up kind of like a poor kid in the Detroit area. And so as a young kid, we would drive on the weekends to see open houses and think of, oh, one day, maybe we'll have a house like that. So for me, real estate's always just kind of been a passion of mine that I wanted to pursue. And in '07, the market was tanking and everybody was like, Adam, if you would have been here 2 years ago, you would have did pretty well. But that kind of advice didn't pay for my mortgage or put food on the table. So I had to adapt. And so at that time, what I did was I joined the military. I was in the Navy for 4 years. It was a wonderful experience for me. I met a lot of great people. And while I was at nighttime, I pursued college and did college education at night. So not a lot of sleep. But I came out smelling like roses and started selling medical devices for one of the top companies in the world. And 2 years into that, the passion came back to me about real estate. And I was making decent money, but my heart was not in it. And so I started listening to podcasts just like Brad's and other guys out there. And it made sense to me that I need to get back in real estate. So, I had a paralysis analysis for about a year, and I met my business partner. And the long and short of it is I worked for 12 months until I had enough money in the bank and I could leave that job and pursue wholesaling full time. And it worked out wonderful. 18 months I was doing that. And in those 18 months, I did over 70 deals, I think it was. So wow. Yeah, you see this all the time. How can you work full time and also do 70 deals? Well, I'm living proof of it. It's not easy by any means, but when you have the right people in your corner, it makes it simple, but just not easy.
So a fantastic story, Adam. That's quite inspiring.
Thank you.
Tell me, well, first of all, thank you for your service. I have a high regard for military personnel, so thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
We didn't tell the listeners, where are you from and where do you operate out of?
So I operate out of Central Virginia, primarily the Richmond area, about a 50-mile radius from Richmond.
Okay. One of the things I want to really hit is when you were in your job, before we get into your obstacles and your goals and how we can overcome those obstacles, tell me what it was like. So during those 12 months when you're saving up money, why did you want to leave?
So I wanted to leave because at the end of the day, the most valuable thing that any of us have, and you can't really put a dollar amount on it, is time. I just wanted to be with my family more. I wanted my freedom to say, hey, if I want to go to the gym at 08, I can do it. If I want to go into the office, I can do that. Really just kind of choosing my own way of doing things, and also just coming back to my passion of being in real estate. So it came down to freedom.
Okay. So that's exactly why I started my business. And it's exactly why I started my business. Most people have heard my story. I grew up at one point in time where I was about to move in, or had the chance of moving to public housing, which is very scary. So that's kind of always inspired me. But as I got older, that was one of the motivating factors, but it was also the freedom that you're talking about. And I've been able to grow Express Home Buyers to a point now we've done 2,200 deals. And the company runs without me. I could go to Jamaica for 6 months, come back, and I'd be willing to bet you that the company would be in a lot better shape. And that is a beautiful thing. So we try to give those same type of, maybe not the 6 months, obviously, but we try to give that same freedom to our employees. And that's why I started Brad Chandler Coaching, is because I want to teach people just like you how to get that. So awesome job, man, for crafting the life that, that you've wanted to live. And I understand you're kind of still on that journey. So in 18 months, you've done 70 deals. I mean, that's a ton of deals. You've probably got the award for the most deals of any podcast guest on here. So tell me, what is it? What are your struggles? Like, what are your goals in 2018? And what are the obstacles that you think are going to keep you, or currently keeping you from reaching those goals?
So one of the things that I truly believe in as far as obstacles, and you did this the first week with me, which was a huge benefit, is mindset. That's really it. I can tell your listeners, when I first heard about wholesaling and real estate investment, I was skeptical, and I'm an optimistic person, but I couldn't believe it, right? I couldn't fathom it. And that was my limiting belief that I had at that time. So until I got into it and I experienced it, it became my reality. And then, I expanded upon that and said, well, look, I can do even bigger and greater things. So it's one of those things, once you start seeing a little bit behind the curtain and getting rid of those limiting beliefs, it's like, boom, I can tell you right now, there's no way in heck I could ever go back to having a job. No offense. Some people need jobs, right? Some people, that's where they flourish. But for me, I've been exposed to something that's so great and can help me get one step closer every single day to my potential. So, I did those 70 deals. I was happy about those. I thought that it was a pretty good job for, 18 months, but I'm going to blow that out of the water this year. I'm just, there's just no failure, right? So my goals for this year, I just ended my previous partnership. He was a wonderful, great guy, but we had different views on where we wanted to take things. So this year I sat down, wrote out my goals, and I'm looking to do 24 fix and flips. I know you're not huge on fix and flips, but for me, it's just one other tool that I can take and help my customers out. So I want to be able to have that, these 3 different types of funnels that I can do to help solve people's problems. And so that's buy and hold, fix and flip, and primarily wholesale. So my wholesale number, Brad, is I'm looking to do 65 wholesale deals this year and 24 to 25 fix and flips.
Okay. And then anything on the buy and hold side?
We'll take that as it comes. I would like to buy and hold some and get some passive income. But right now, starting this new adventure, this new journey, I just want to focus on creating this machine so I can get to your level and have that level 7 business.
Sounds great. So lots of stuff to unpack. I want to jump back to the job. What was your strategy? It was just work enough that you could save up enough money where you could then just say, see you later, boss.
Yeah. So for me, it was, I'm pretty big on, you can't serve 2 masters. And it just started becoming that thing to where, you either love the one and hate the other. And I was going to work every day listening to podcasts about guys crushing it in real estate. And I'm like, why the hell am I going to work today? And the epitome of what really came, the apex of it was that I had a call on Thursday to go to a hospital, or that same Thursday at the exact same time, I had the opportunity to go out and sign a contract with a lady at her house. I got that assignment contract, and that paid me more on that one assignment deal than I would have got paid that full month. And I was like, that's it. That's when I need to cut it off. And so I had enough money in the bank. My wife had, confidence in me. And that's when I took that leap. It was
Okay.
strategic. I can tell you that. You got to be strategic with it. Don't just jump out there and say, oh, well, some other guys are doing this. I can do it. You need to have somebody there that can help and has done it before. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Right. And I didn't have somebody, but I saved enough money, not a ton, that I kind of did take the leap. So great stuff, man. So mindset, you touched on mindset, and then we'll come back to your goals and your obstacles. Mindset is for years and years and years as a kid, since I was a kid, since I was about 10 years old, 8 years old, whatever, I was just enamored by why some people succeeded that came from like broken homes and all of these obstacles they'd overcome. And then some of my friends were like, or some people I knew came from great families and they just didn't succeed. And I was like, for years and years and years, I was like, why is that? And it wasn't until I started building my coaching program in the last year that I really found, dug deep. And you hit it. It's mindset. So the 7-week course that we provide, the entire first week is mindset. And here's why. Because I can give 100 people the best training program in the world. But if you have a limited mindset, if you have a mindset of, I'm not smart enough, I can't learn this stuff, you'll never do it. If you have a growth mindset that says it doesn't matter, look, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. People may think I'm super smart because I have this successful business, but I can tell you my GPA and my my high school GPA and SAT scores, they were ridiculously low, like so low, I'm embarrassed. I won't even tell you them. So it's not about how smart you are. It's about your mindset. So guys and girls out there, if you want to change something about your life, you got to change your mindset, because it doesn't matter what information or what course or whatever you take. It's never going to work until you get your mindset straight. So thanks for telling me that. All right. So back to your goals. You've got 24 fix and flips and 65 wholesales. What did you do in 2018?
You're saying what have I done so far?
I'm sorry. What did you do in 2017?
So 2017, I know right off the bat that it was that 18-month span that we did about 70 deals, just wholesale that whole time.
So if it was 18 months, and let's just round, you did about 50 deals last year?
Yes.
So you want to take that from 50 to just about 90 deals. Okay.
Exactly.
So you kind of want to double. A question, what is it about what's your average wholesale fee?
So looking at around 16,000, I think national's probably 12. You guys are doing 30 up there, but as you know,
Yep.
Depending on the house, what are you going to sell that? What's that ARV on there? So I started off, when I started, I was at like 8,000, read the book. I read a book that basically just squashed my whole limiting belief. And the very next time, Think and Grow Rich, that's what it was. Read that book.
One of the best books ever.
Yeah, I was hitting $8,000 every single time. I read that book, and no kidding, halfway through it, I did my best deal. At that time, it was my best deal, but it was like over $20,000. And so again, mindset, right? That's what I keep on coming back to is mindset. I had that limiting belief. Average deals around $16,000. I'm still looking to keep that right there. I'm rather conservative in my numbers, but that's not to say that 16 can't grow to 20 or 25 plus as I continue to progress in my education.
So, and did you do any fix and flips last year?
No.
None. Okay. So what is it? Why is it that you want to introduce fix and flips to the business?
So the fix and flips, I like that option because there was a lot of times when I saw so much meat on the bone that it just made sense from a time and a money perspective as far as our ROI. And so I just feel like, you know what, there's certain times when it just makes sense. The risk is going to come up slightly. You're going to have to pay on the hard money. You involve more humans, right? So more humans equals greater risk of, probability of losing money. But to me, it just makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense at the time, I just won't take that deal down that funnel. Okay.
I want to pause, and then we're going to come back to the fix and flips because So I'm going to take a pause to tell you about something really cool that I'm offering a select number of people. And we are going to bradchandler.com/apply. So here you'll see tons of amazing benefits that you'll get from my Wholesaling to Freedom course. As you scroll down, I've outlined what you'll learn each week in each of the 7 weeks. If you scroll down even further, you'll see the incredible bonuses that you'll get as well. So just read through all the bonuses. And then as you scroll down further, you'll see questions. So when you're ready to apply, you just, fill this out fill these questions out, and then we'll set a phone call up. I offer this at a fraction of the price others do. So if you're looking for freedom in your life, this could be the answer. Back to Adam. Adam is actually a current student. He signed up a couple weeks ago, I guess. Adam, how's the program going so far?
The program is fantastic. It's everything that I was looking for and a little bit more. What I originally didn't have was a lot of the marketing and the getting the seller leads. It was just unknown to me at that point. And so after, digging into the course, the first week going into mindset, it just it brought me back into reality and brought me back into what was possible, because I kind of hit that low. I got rid of my previous company, my previous partner, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do, right? For me, it was a no-brainer. I didn't have tons of money at the time, but I saw this and I said, you know what? If I'm going to have a great mentor and be taught by one of the best, and I want to be the best, well, this is the guy to go with. So I found you, Brad, and I wish I would have found you. I wish you would have started this like 18 months ago, but it was just a beautiful thing. The timing all synchronized. And so I jumped at the opportunity. And for me, there's just, you can be, I was probably right about here, and now I'm getting a little bit higher. And then as I continue through the course and work with you, Brad, I just know that I get closer and closer to my potential. And that's what it all comes down to for me.
So you're obviously an experienced investor. 70 deals, like I said before, is awesome. What if I guess you just said that. If you had it when you started out, it's great for new investors. Do you think it's a good program for brand new investors who don't know anything about real estate? Can they take this, like someone in a dead end job that wants to get out like you? Could they take this and just go step by step and learn how to make $16,000, or in our case $36,000 on a deal?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this program, I'm so confident in it. I told my younger brother who just moved to North Carolina, look, you got to get this program. I mean, it's awesome. It's that simple. It's, I've done quite a few deals, and it's one of those things. I'm still learning so much. So I could only imagine the new guy or gal who's coming into this and actually having the guy who's at the top of the hill hold your hand. And that's what I've seen so far. It's not like, hey, go figure this out on your own, or, you're out there on that island.
Awesome. Okay. Well, you can, if anyone's interested, just go to bradchandler.com/apply. All right. So back to fix and flips. Fix and flips have caused me lots and lots and lots of stress and heartache in my life. So tell me what is it about you're making good money in wholesaling. If you went from 65 wholesale deals to 90, like you wanted to do, I know you want to do the fix and flips, you make a pretty good living. Why introduce rehabbing into this equation?
So rehabbing, so with my new partner, that's his expertise. He's been doing it for 10 plus years. He has the system in place for all of that. We have the money guys in place. And again, for me, I want to be able to not just focus on one way of solving the problem that my customers have. In this business, I'm essentially a consultant. I'm a problem. I solve problems for people, and it just so happens it has to deal with real estate. And that's on the surface, right? So I'm fortunate to be able to go to these houses and provide tools, whether it's the wholesale or the fix and flip. For me, the fix and flip, I just see that there's the potential for quite a bit of money.
Okay. So the highlighted word in that phrase is potential. Because I can't tell you the number of times that we've look at the numbers and we say, we're going to make $40,000 rehabbing this. And this was a year ago, 2 years ago. And guess what we'd make? We'd make 0, or we'd lose 10, or we'd lose 50. We've lost 100. We've lost $923,000 on one house back in 2005. It was a development deal. We thought we could subdivide the land, and it didn't work out. My point is that just be really careful. I hope this doesn't happen to you, but what happens to a lot of investors is they underestimate the renovation costs, and they underestimate the time and the complexity it's going to take. So what you think you're going to make isn't always going to be. So as you're doing this, so no one ever told me that. I thought that the smart, sophisticated person did rehabbing, and the less sophisticated person that was whatever, uneducated, didn't have credit, no money, did wholesaling. Honestly, I think it's just the reverse. I think the cuckoo people now do rehabs. I'm kidding to a degree, of course. But all I want you to do is, part of life is just being aware. If you're trying to change your behavior, if you can just be aware of it, all I want you to do is, as you move forward, every day that someone calls you about a renovation nightmare, be like, Brad, just be like, Brad's on my shoulder telling me I shouldn't have done that. maybe it'll work for you. And I know it works for some people, but it's just really difficult because you can do everything right. And then 2 years down the road, a year down the road, 3 years, you can be sued.
Right.
So just be really careful. So, all right, you want to do 90 deals. What needs to change, or why do you need me, or what are your obstacles? What is it that's keeping you from just rolling out 90 deals in 2018?
Yeah. So the obstacles that I see are more so on the front end. And that's just generating the leads, having the SEO package, having the systems of automation, and sending out those text messages. And really, once I get that front half of it, I love the second half. That's where I shine. I love going out to houses, knowing the ARV, the repair costs, and building rapport with people and helping to solve their problems. Not that I can't get better at it. And with your program, I've seen kind of a different way to go about that. But it's the front half that I'm not at the point to where I can say, hey, I'm good at it. And that bothers me.
So of the 50 deals you did in 2018, how did you source those deals? How did you find them?
Just direct mail.
Direct mail. Okay. So you do have some type of, tell me a little bit about how many pieces are you sending out a month? Yeah.
So currently it's only been week 2 that we got started with our marketing campaign. So as of right now, we've been sending out 3,000 postcards, direct mail, for the past 2 weeks. I have 2 more weeks of the same campaign that are dropping next week and the following week.
Hang on, Adam. The 50 deals that you did in 2017, how did you source those?
So those were all direct mail.
Do I keep saying 2018?
Yeah.
Sorry. It's the turn of the year and it's messing my head up.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, you're fine.
In 2017, how did you source those 50 deals?
Direct mail and a little bit of website.
Okay. So in 2017 on a monthly basis, how many direct mail pieces were you dropping?
About 18,000.
About 18,000. Okay. Postcard, you said postcards, right? Mm-hmm. And then how, when someone, do you have your website on the postcard or just the telephone number?
No. So at that time we just had the telephone number. But right now I'm looking at, again, so I'm kind of flip-flopping back and forth. So that was my old business and here's my new business. So it's a little bit different, but back then, yeah, it was just a postcard, nothing special with a phone number on there. Give us a call. We want to buy your house.
Okay. And how many are you dropping? How many did you just drop in your first drop?
3,000. So we're looking at 3,000 a week.
Okay. 3,000 a week. And what's happening with those phone calls? Who's taking those phone calls?
So I'll take those phone calls. I have FreedomSoft, and another great benefit of being part of your program. You guys are building out the automation piece of that. So, I've been there before where I've had 3 employees. So I know that eventually we will have to get, the inside phone person, but right now it's just me. And literally our response rate, we had 1 phone call and that was, hey, remove me from your list. So we haven't touched the people those 4 to 6 times yet. We're nowhere near that. It's just the beginning of the campaign. Whereas before, we had months built up of contacting people. Gotcha.
And it's just you and your partner. Do you have any other employees?
No, not currently. I have 100 applicants right now for my inside phone job. But I don't want to tackle that yet because it's just not necessary right now. We just don't have the phone calls coming in.
Okay. So I love to hear the fact that you're going to do 4 to 6. That's what I preach to everyone. My sister was a stay-at-home mom back in 2005, and she used to hand address envelopes to people who were absentee owners who owned their home for more than 20 years. I got a call one day from a lady who said, I wasn't planning on selling my house, but I just got your 7th letter, so I'm going to sell. I made $41,000 on the house. So if you're going to do a direct mail campaign and only do 1 or 2 drops, just don't waste your money.
Right.
So you've got the 3,000 going out a week. Your call volume is going to go up as you increase that. You had success with direct mail in the past. So your next hire, that's exactly what I was going to suggest, is an inside sales associate that's going to help you just pound those leads, because so much of this business and so much of most businesses are about the follow-up. So just follow up. You've got my strategy. So I know you're hitting them at least 15 times in the first 4 or 5 days. I talk to successful investors all around the country. They could be a lot more successful, but they're not following up enough. You got to follow up like crazy. So it seems like you just need you've restarted your direct mail campaign. You just need to turn things up a little bit there. What is your monthly marketing budget?
Right now we're looking at $10,000.
Okay. So are you going to do any pay-per-click or SEO marketing with that budget?
Yeah. So I talked to Keith this morning, yeah, he's going to help me out with the SEO. My website, I have Investor Carrot, as you guys recommended. Trevor and those guys are fantastic over there. So I have the website. I'll get the SEO going. Pay-per-click, I'll set a budget of maybe $500 to $1,000 on that, and get that going. And then the rest, I figured I would just filter into direct mail.
Okay, sounds good. So let's get back to your obstacles. What is? It sounds like things are going. You're new because you just shifted partners. What do you need help with? What's keeping you, or what do you think is going to keep you from hitting those 90 deals this year?
What do I think will stop me from hitting that? Nothing. Nothing's going to stop me. I'll figure out a way. There's nothing that's going to stop me. But how can I expedite that? That's how I look at it. How can I become more efficient with my time? Because this isn't freedom. I can tell you that right now. It's hard work, but I enjoy it. You can't have the sweet without the sour. So again, I can limit the amount of obstacles and errors that I have by just following your program. So what I really need is just those phones to start ringing.
Okay. So that what we'll do is we'll help you crank up the, you got to get some SEO. So you talk with Keith. Keith is a gentleman, SEO expert that helps me and helps a lot of my coaching students with their SEO. And for those of you who don't know, SEO is just search engine optimization. It gets you ranking high in the search engines. Then you've got pay-per-click advertising where you actually pay Google or Bing. That's fairly effective. So we're going to get you set up on that. And then your direct mail, you're dropping 3,000 pieces. I think that's a good amount. You just need to give it some time. You need to bring in, you're doing all the right things. The inside sales associate should typically be your next hire. Then what you'll do is as you increase the marketing, that person will take on more and more phone calls, more and more of the follow-up. You'll train that person to go out on appointments, and then you can promote them to a outside sales specialist. We call them a home buying specialist, and actually our home buying specialists handle both inside calls as well as going to the appointments. So once you get enough volume and you can hire that person or promote the inside sales associate, now you do have a little bit more freedom. Now you can work on, maybe, I don't know, what is the area of the business that you feel you're the best at or that you enjoy the most?
I would say training and actually going out to the houses. I love building rapport with the people, and just seeing how greatly their life changes. So for me, excuse me, it would be, going out to the houses, hiring people and training them. But again, I've been there before, and I know that that's not how you scale. So again, that's why I come back, Brad, this is why I need you. My end goal is to be level 7 business, right? I want to be out working on my business and not in my business. So those are some tips I can use from you.
So let's set a goal by the end of the year that you've got an inside sales associate that you've trained and promoted to a home buying specialist. And that person is taking phone calls and closing deals. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Does that sound like a reasonable goal?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you can potentially spend your time more on training. Who is going to handle, I guess you're handling it now. What part of the business is your partner handling?
So he handles all the fix and flips, the finances of it, and then also hiring the personnel.
For the construction or all personnel with the company?
All personnel.
Okay. So hiring, could be a whole subject on its own. We're kind of running out of time, but just make sure when you hire that you've got your core values, that you understand what you stand for and that your company stands for, and then hire towards that. Make sure that you're doing a DISC analysis. If anyone wants to just Google Tony Robbins DISC, it's a free analysis. Read through that report. Make sure that the position you're hiring, that their behavioral traits match up with that, because it's really important. If not, they're likely not going to succeed. So it sounds like you've got a lot of the pieces. Just kind of have to put them together. We've set a goal for you to get out of taking the phone calls and stuff, because you got to get out of that if you want true freedom. But I understand you're just kind of restarting in the business. So sounds like you've got, what is your target for hiring an inside sales associate? So
that should be within the next 30 days. that will have somebody, and it really is going to be due to the fact that the phones are ringing at the rate of we're losing money, right? Because I can't answer all those phone calls or I can't get back to them. My business partner can get somebody in here within 1 to 2 weeks. So we'll be able to, take a look at that and assess it on almost a daily basis. If I'm missing phone calls, hey, we need to hire somebody now.
Okay. So you're going to have to ramp up marketing, of course. Your marketing is going to have to go up because now you're if you're spending $10,000 a deal or a month, let's say that will get you 2 deals. 2 deals would be 24. So you're probably going to have to scale that to $20,000 or $30,000 a month. But it's the same way I started. I started with a negative $80,000 net worth. I started by banging "We Buy Houses" signs and telephone poles. I didn't have any money. But what I did is when I got my first deal, I just reinvested into more marketing, and then I got more deals. And as you're doing that, you're building out systems. So I would highly urge you, before you bring on that inside sales associate, get a really great training program set up where you're doing, screencast of, you're recording everything. You're on the computer actually recording what you're doing. You've got all the scripts, everything down. So when that person comes in, they can sit down on a computer and just go to town. And then every position that you do, everything you do in the company, document, because sooner or later, those tasks are going to be associated with a certain person. And one of the reasons that I am where I am today is I read Michael Gerber's E-Myth book when I first started, and it's all about systematizing a business. Whether you're going to open 1 location or 2, you should build them like you're going to open 5,000, which means just systematize everything. Because what happens a lot of times is people will leave a job. Let's just use a barber, for instance. They'll leave a job because they're like, hey, I'm a great barber. Well, then they start a shop, a new barber shop, and they're working twice as much. And literally they're making the same amount of money or less. Why? Because they don't have any systems, so they're doing everything. So I like the fact that your partner, and it was the same thing with my partner. We came in at the first 6 months or 3 months, whatever. We were doing the same job. And I came in one day, I'm like, this is crazy. You do this, I'll do this. So it sounds like you've already done that. So kudos to you. Now, both of you have to systematize and document everything so you can create a training program that's amazing.
Exactly. We're definitely aligned. We've done what's our vision on this 1, 3, 5 years, what's our why, and everything's in alignment. At the end of the day, you never want to be your best employee, right? You want to be, you're not going to own a business at that point. You're just working in your business. And that's not what I want. I want a machine that can run without me, whether I'm in Turks and Caicos with the family or I'm at the gym in the morning. This
Absolutely.
thing should be able to run without me.
And it's a great feeling, I got to tell you, because I came from, 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. I was one of those guys. It sucked. The stress sucked. I went out and I systematized everything. And now, I'm teaching people exactly how to do what I do. And you wholesale houses. So tell the listeners, how much money do you need to wholesale a house?
Nothing. I mean, you can, not much at all. These bandit signs, I have bandit signs behind me. I have a car magnet that I paid $12 to get a car magnet that says "We Buy Houses." It's yellow with black writing and my phone number on it. Now it's magnet because I don't, my wife and my kids are like, hey, get that magnet off the car. You know what? At the end of the day, that thing's going to pay for our vacation, and it cost me $12. Word of mouth too. Just go out, tell everybody you know.
And when you do the transaction, Adam, how much cash do you put down, and how's it dealing with the bank?
It's a breeze. I don't put anything down. That's always been our thing. There's somebody else who's going to put down that EMD. The first deal that I actually did, I went down, it was in North Carolina. I went down there with my business partner. I did all my research the night before. I left my house at 04. I showed up at the guy's house at 07. Sir, thank you for having me here today. How can I help you? And it was the longest negotiation, but 2 hours later we left and we made thousands of dollars after that and solved that guy's problem.
And the bank, do you deal with banks?
No, I'm not dealing with the bank. I'm not dealing with that stuff. And then
banks.
Title company, the beautiful thing is we got to the point at first, I was like, oh, let me drive and go pick up this check. And then it came to the point to where, well, that's not a good use of my time. Wire the money in. And so, you're not going to the closing. You're not doing nearly half the steps that a fix and flip person would do. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. You mentioned that you don't put up an EMD. And for all of you who don't know, EMD is just an acronym for earnest money deposit. It's the deposit that you need to contractually make a contract binding. So did you really mean that you don't put down any EMD?
Yeah, I don't. Every once in a while, we might put down an EMD, or we would put in the contract. Like if somebody was in a really bad situation, we would give them a loan of like, say, $2,000. Hey, Johnny, Susie, you guys need some money so you can move out. We're going to give you $2,000 as a loan. But as far as money coming out of our pocket, no.
Well, there may not be any money coming out of your pocket. There should be. Are you writing in the contract that you're going to give any type of not down payment, a deposit, earnest money deposit?
So the deposit would be that it would be coming on the back end from the buyer. So they would put down, we would ask for $2,000 that they would put down. But at the front, how the contract was written, that was our deposit. That was our good faith right there.
Okay, so you don't want to do that.
I don't have that contract anymore.
Yeah, whether it's 10 cents or $100 or $500, you've got to put down consideration to make the contract binding.
Okay.
Make sure that you put down some amount. You can put down $100, you can put down $50, you can put down $500, and that money will go to the title company. So if the deal doesn't close, you get it back.
Right. And so, yeah, you're not losing anything at the end of the day. And again, so it's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know. And I mean, we did 70 deals and like, here it is. I'm still learning something new. So thank you, Brad.
Yeah, man, no problem. All right. Well, I hope do you have any questions for me? I hope that was helpful.
No, it's definitely helpful. One of the things that it is, again, it just comes to mental. Like in my mind, it's like, well, I should already have 10 deals. I just got to calm it down a little bit and it's consistency. That's what it is. You just got to be consistent.
You have to be consistent. When it comes to marketing, when it comes to follow-up, you have got to be consistent. Really, it's with anything in life. If you want a good relationship with your wife or your husband, you got to be consistently nice, right? If you want to lose weight, you got to consistently eat right, and you got to go to the gym, right? So business is no different. And mindset is a huge help to that. It sounds like you've taken my advice in terms of digging deep on your why and setting your goals, because those things make a huge difference. So, Adam, I'm so excited for one, you being a coaching student, but number two, the journey ahead. I think it's going to be awesome. And I'll have you back in a year. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say, hey, have you gotten out of the lead follow-up business? Or are you doing something else? Do you have an inside sales associate? Do you have a home buying specialist? And then we'll talk about what 2019 looks like and how you scale even further till you get, it took me, I don't know how many years it took me to get to the 7th level, but I can certainly tell you I can shrink it for you.
Perfect. I look forward to it. And thank you very much for everything.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being a guest, Adam. Take care. If anyone has any questions, please type them below. Whether you're watching this live or rebroadcast down the road, I promise to come back and answer any questions. And thanks for sticking around to the end. Because you stuck around to the end, I want to give you my free book, which is this Wholesaling Secrets. Discover this one technique we use to close 200 wholesale deals every year consistently. And all you do is simply text the word invest to 855-999-1616. Again, to get my free book on how to wholesale 200 houses per year, text the word invest to 855-999-1616. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to this episode. It's now time to take action. Text the word INVEST to 855-999-1616 and get a free guide teaching you how to qualify, schedule, and close more deals faster with the advanced agreement, the technique we use to do 20-plus wholesale deals per month. Also, go to bradchandler.com/podcast to apply to be a guest on this podcast. You'll receive a 30-minute coaching session with Brad, a $1,000 value for free.